to another episode of Wrestle Talk with Jimbo. Tonight we're going to be focusing on the January 27th episode of ECW on Sci-Fi Network. This will contain spoilers. If you don't want spoiled, don't watch my shit. Now we started off with Teddy Long saying that Matt Hardy was moving to SmackDown. Does that really need to be said when there's supposedly the ECW SmackDown talent trade? No, really, it's not. Tonight's ECW had tons and tons of promos for various shows, WrestleMania, the Raw rebounds, the SmackDown previews, and in whole there was only 2 matches. Technically there's 3, but there was only 2. The first one was supposed to be Boogeyman versus Ricky Ortiz, and Ricky Ortiz just ran away from Boogeyman, and that was that. The match didn't even officially start. The second match we had was Paul Burchill versus Finlay, and, you know, it was a standard Finlay match. Hornswoggle chased Katie Lee around, no surprises there. Then we got Mark Henry and Tommy Dreamer, yeah, both very, very slow, and can't do much with each other, so, yeah, another boring match. Now, most of the show was centered around Jack Swagger not being able to find the ECW title. We later found out that Hornswoggle stole it, but that's besides the point. What we had here was Jack Swagger came up to Mark Henry, accused Mark Henry of taking it. Now hopefully this doesn't lead to a future match between Mark Henry and Jack Swagger, because both of them are slower than the Great Khali. That would be a terrible, terrible match. But they are seeming to hype up Finlay versus Jack Swagger, which really isn't that great of an idea either. Jack Swagger just needs to go away. The most entertaining thing of the night, though, was at the very end. Jack Swagger said, and I quote, "This is lame. I'm the ECW champion." And quite frankly, I agree with him. It is lame that he's the ECW champion. It's lame that he's been given the push to be in a main event spot when he's nobody. He's terrible. He looks like a drunk goon. He's slow. Not talented at all. For an All-American athlete, he's got nothing on true All-American athletes like Shelton Benjamin, Brock Lesnar, guys that were talented in the ring and could get it done and weren't just lumbering drunkards. That's all I'm going to say about tonight's ECW. It's pretty much garbage. Now I'm going to go on and talk about some other stuff here. What I want to talk about today is the lack of gimmicks in the WWE. Now, we used to have some great gimmicks. We still have a couple. We've got The Undertaker. It's a great gimmick. It works. It's lasted forever. He's changed it for the different eras, but he's made it work each time. Then you got a long gimmick like Shawn Michaels, Heartbreak Kid. Really can't be calling himself the Heartbreak Kid when he's nearing 50 years old. Not a kid anymore. Heartbreak Man just don't sound good. I'm sure he could just reinvent himself if he wanted to, but he doesn't because he's stubborn and he's scared. Then we got the worst of the worst. We got guys like Batista. Who is Batista? We don't know. He had a gimmick of Decon Batista when he first showed up, but who is he now? He's just a big guy running around in his little brother's underwear. He's got his little machine gun thing. I don't know what that is. He's Polynesian. He should be running with some Polynesian gimmick. Not, look at me, I'm Batista, I'm muscly. The worst of the worst, though, is John Cena. John Cena had a great gimmick. He was a white guy that rapped, and it was funny. He made fun of people, and that's what we needed. Who's John Cena now? He's the guy wearing jean shorts. I don't get it. What is he supposed to be? Just some guy. He thinks, after he filmed The Marine, he started doing a military salute. John Cena wasn't in the military. He was a weightlifter before he became a wrestler. He was a bodybuilder. We got guys like JBL who have gimmicks. He's supposed to be the rich New York snob, but really, it doesn't work. JBL's terrible in everything that he's done. He might as well just be calling himself Justin Hawk Bradshaw and coming out with the bull rope again. I mean, you got newer guys like, let's go back to Ricky Ortiz. Who is Ricky Ortiz? What's he supposed to do? Nobody knows. He just goes out there. He's a guy. He has these towels. What's that supposed to prove? That's nothing. You got good gimmicks like MVP, where he's a snob and he plays it well. Or a guy like Santino, who plays an idiot well. Or guys like the Boogeyman. That's one hell of a gimmick. Brings me back to the time of Papa Shango. We need more gimmicks, and less guys wearing their little brother shorts. That's all there is. There's just guys wearing their Speedos. I mean, sure, that worked for Hulk Hogan, but we're never going to have a Hulk Hogan again. It worked for Stone Cold Steve Austin. We're never going to have Stone Cold Steve Austin again. We ain't ever going to have Dwayne Johnson again. Remember, you can't call him The Rock. Anyway, back on point. WWE needs more gimmicks and less underwear guys. And tonight's ECW gets a -7 for being an hour long and only having 2 matches.